All right. Thank you for joining us. Still a couple more people maybe, but that's all right. We're getting set up here, getting Gabby and Jordan are getting ready on campus right now, just getting all ready to go to show you the tour of the campus. I wanted to start things off just by asking everyone to put in the chat what major they're interested in or what major they're going to be a part of when they come to Sac State. So go ahead and please put that into the chat right now. Okay, cool. All right. Love to see it. Biology, physics, child development, computer science, civil engineering. Very, very cool. And while everybody's putting those in, I'm going to read some more of those out, but we just want to let everyone know that this is webinar format. So we're utilizing the chat right now, which is great, but for all of your questions, please do put those in the Q&A that's at the bottom of your screen, okay? Because it just organizes the questions a little bit better. When you put questions into the chat, they all get sort of lost within everything else. So we really appreciate it if you put them into the chat. If you do ask questions, excuse me, into the Q&A, if you do put questions into the chat though, we will try to get to them and answer them as quickly as we possibly can. Okay, everyone? So, I mean, I'm seeing political science, social work, mechanical engineering, oh my God, elementary special education, so cool. Social science, health science, nursing, business, got a lot of folks represented here, which is so cool. We're really, really excited to have you with us today. I think that Gabby will be ready in just a moment here to give the tour. If she can give me a thumbs up, which she just did, I'm going to go ahead and switch the spotlight over to her. Go ahead, Gabby.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Maggie. Hi, everyone. I'm Gabby, and just a little bit about myself. I'm an anthropology major with a concentration in biology archaeology. I did row for the women's rowing team. It is a Division I sport. My sorority is Lambda Sigma Gamma Sorority Incorporated. And I also work for our fabulous campus tours team in our admissions and outreach office. Alrighty, we're going to go ahead and start off our day talking about our Welcome Center. It is right behind me. It is a brand new building built here on campus. It was built summer of 2020. And then right next to that is our University Transportation and Parking Services office. So hopefully you're going there to pay a parking pass rather than pay for a parking ticket. But if you happen to have any questions we can't answer, you can go ahead and send those their way. Right next to that, we have parking structure 5, so pretty easy access to our Welcome Center here. And if you happen to visit campus on your own time, you are free to do so. We are a public campus. You can find parking passes on the 3rd floor of any structure here on campus. We just like to remind students to wear your mask and maintain social distancing. And looking towards this way, you'll see our big blue emergency pole. So safety is extremely important to us here at Sac State. These are actually scattered throughout campus. If you're ever in an emergency, go ahead and push the red button. A blue light will start flashing. Camera will automatically start recording, and you will have an officer at your location within a minute and 30 seconds. So as we are walking down this path here momentarily, you'll be able to see our Sacramento State bus loop. We do have quite a few resources regarding transportation for our students to utilize. Our first is going to be our Sac State commuter sleeve. You put that over your one card. It's the one card you need for absolutely everything and anything to do here at Sacramento State. And as students, you get to ride all transit for free. So you can go to Midtown, downtown, Old Sac. You can even go to surrounding cities within the Sacramento region, places like Elk Grove or Roseville, if you know where that is. And then we also have our Hornet shuttle. This takes students around a 5-mile radius around campus. And a quick fun fact, it's actually powered by biofuels. So just one of the many ways we try to stay eco-friendly. Jordan's going to be able to give you guys a good shot of our Sacramento State bus loop here. And then up ahead, you guys will be able to see Sacramento Hall. This right here is the first building built here on campus in 1952. Although Sac State was founded in 1947 at what is now known as Sac City College. At the time it was founded, there was an intense need for higher education post-World War II. Therefore, the state decided to buy 244 acres of what was then peach farmland and what is now over 300 acres of our beautiful campus. Sac State actually is the 13th oldest of 23 CSUs, and we offer 151 different kinds of bachelor's degrees, 69 different masters, 28 different teaching credentials, and 5 different doctoral degrees. We are also known as a large university with a small campus feel. What does that mean? That means undergraduate plus graduate students. We have approximately 31,000 students here at Sac State, but that does not mean you have to worry about your class sizes being too large, because our average class size is actually 27 students large. Student to faculty ratio, 24:1. So we purposely make our we make our classroom size smaller, sorry about that, to make sure that you have the ability to make that one-on-one connection between you and your professors. And then last but not least, we have an alumni base of over 250,000 individuals, and we award a little over 7,800 degrees annually. And then as we walk here, we are slowly coming up on Laston Hall. I'm gonna go ahead and let Jordan show you guys a little more about our beautiful campus before we get there. Perfect, thank you so much, Jordan. So yes, we are slowly coming up on Laston Hall. So this is every student's special little toolbox. If you guys need help with absolutely anything here on campus, these people will know exactly how to help you or where to direct you. Walking in, you would notice 2 offices, one on your left and one on your right. On your left-hand side, we have our One Stop Towards Success Student Service Center. So if you guys need any help with financial aid, documents, that kind of stuff, you can get that help right in there. If you, right across from it is our Bursar's office. So if you wanted to set up a payment plan, anything that has to do with payments, you can work right in there. So the way I like to think about it, on the left, we give you guys our money. On the right, we take your guys' money. And then at the very back of our first floor, we have our Office of Students with Disabilities. So for example, if you get in a car accident with the proper medical documentation, we can get you a note taker for every single one of your classes. We have our Advising and Career Center. So they help you find on or off campus job and internship opportunities. They help you set up a resume, and they even host mock interviews. And then at the very end, we have our Admissions and Outreach office. So if you wanted to talk with a counselor, make sure you're meeting all admissions requirements, call us, let us know, and we will be happy to set that up for you. On the second and third floors of this building, we have all our resources. So for example, we have PARC, your Academic Resource Center, so free tutoring. We have SARC, Student Athletic Resource Center. We have our MLK Center, EOP, Guardian Scholars Program, and our Veteran Success Center, plus so much more. So these resources are here to help you throughout your college careers. So please take advantage of them, okay? So Lawson Hall, building with the Aztec murals, your special toolbox. As we walk down our campus right here, I'm actually gonna have you guys look to your right-hand side, which is my left-hand side. You will notice a green and gold building all the way in the back. That is Yosemite Hall, home to all our indoor sports. So volleyball, basketball, as well as gymnastics. Also home to our ROTC programs. So if you want to get involved with the military, we offer the Army and the Air Force. And behind Yosemite Hall, not so sure if you can see that little red thing peeking on the top, that's home to our Peak Adventures Rockwall and Ropes course. So if you don't get to go for free through one of your classes, I highly recommend grabbing a group of friends and checking it out, because it's super fun, super cool. Highly recommend. Local businesses will actually send employees down to see how well they work together, take the pros and cons of those activities, and see how they can utilize that information back at the office. Right next to that, we have Solano Hall, home to health sciences, public health, kinesiology, as well as RPTA. One of the great things about our kinesiology majors is they are located next to our athletes. Whenever one of them is hurt or injured, they work with our therapists to help them through the rehabilitation process, so allowing our students to have that hands-on learning experience. And then at this moment in time, I also like to talk a little bit about RPTA. This stands for Recreational Parks Tourism and Administration. And the reason I like to talk about it is because it's kind of like the hidden gem of campus. Not a lot of students know this is something they can study. So if you want to work in tourism professionally, get an internship with Disneyland. You can specialize in planning. So if you want to be a wedding planner, plan when the Kings play their games at the Golden One Center. Choose what artists are coming to town and plan when their concerts will be. You can even do recreational therapy, where you help people through their physical rehabilitation process by doing things like hiking. One of my old rowing teammates, rec therapy major, she currently works with the Wounded Warriors Foundation, helping when wounded veterans do things like walk again. Pretty cool, right? And then we are slowly coming up on these next two buildings. We're going to start off talking about Kadima Hall. This is home to our art department. We do have more than just finger painting. We have sculpture building, jewelry making. There's a blacksmith workshop in here, and we even have a class on puppetry. You can study art history, art education, or studio art. We have 6 different art galleries around campus, 2 within these buildings right here. And they even host mini markets where students, faculty, and staff have the opportunity to sell their artwork. You do not have to be an art major to want to participate and all proceeds go back to helping the art department. Right across from it, this building is what I like to say looks like a book on its side. Hopefully you see it, or else I'm just low-key that crazy tour guide. But it's okay if you don't. So yes, it is home to our English department. It's also home to our writing center. So if you're one of those students who likes writing and likes helping other students, well, guess what? You can have a paid job opportunity right in there. And if you're one of those students who struggles with writing, needs a little extra help, well, then guess what? You have a free tutoring resource as well. So just like all Sacramento State jobs, we understand you are students first and employees second. So we will work your work schedule around your school schedule. So we have a ton of employment opportunities for students here on campus, anything from the front office of a department to one of our many eateries. And then we are slowly coming up on Alpine Hall. This is home to our criminal justice department. We have the largest criminal justice department west of the Mississippi, the second largest criminal justice department in the United States of America. This building is fully equipped with interrogation rooms, crime scene labs. Imagine a final exam, walking into a room. You need to figure out who did it, what happened, and why they did it. Talk to them in an interrogation room, and finally present your case in front of a panel of judges. So make sure you're talking to your professors, telling them they have nice hair, wishing their dogs happy birthday, because trust me, a letter back from one of them can go a really long way. I'm actually going to go ahead and hand it off to Maggie so that she can talk and show you guys a little bit about the next building.
Thank you, Gabby. Okay, everyone. So Jordan is kind of pulling back, checking out this building. This is Mariposa Hall. And it is built to resemble something. And I'm going to put up a poll right now because we're very curious to see if you can tell what Mariposa Hall was built to resemble. And it's kind of based on what majors are inside. And we'll get to that in just a moment. But please do answer right now in the poll. We have spaceship as an option. We have Jello mold, cruise ship, greenhouse. I guess we'll see. Oh, it looks like spaceship and cruise ship are kind of neck and neck right now with the responses here. But it is built to look like something specific. And I'm just going to give it another couple of seconds, maybe 4 or so seconds, just to give you a chance to respond. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and end the polling now. So everybody, I'm going to share these results. More people thought it looks like a spaceship. And you know what? It kind of does. I could see it, but it was built to look like a cruise ship. So Gabby is going to take over right now and tell you exactly why it was built that way.
Perfect. All right. So the reason it is designed to look like a cruise ship is because of all the things you can study within this building when you're on a cruise, hopefully with people you like, maybe even your family, consumer sciences, as well as social work. You're trying a bunch of really cool new foods. So nutrition, dietetics, you're also taking lots of pictures, maybe even in the brand new clothes you just bought. So photography, fashion design, interior design, graphic design, as well as architectural design. And last but not least, because you are traveling all around the world, you are meeting people who speak lots of cool languages. You can learn up to 9 languages in this building, 2 of which you can major in Spanish and French. And then as I walk down this way, I'm actually going to direct your guys' attention to your right-hand side. That will be Eureka Hall. This is home to our College of Education. So if you wanted to earn one of those 28 different teaching credentials, you can always get involved right in there. This is also home to our child development majors. So child development, you guys need a total of 600 observation hours by the time you graduate. And here at Sac State, we have an on-campus daycare. So imagine getting a paid job that works towards your major right here on campus. This is also home to ASL Deaf Studies. So if you're one of those students who has not completed their language other than English requirement, then I highly recommend sign language. I took it my sophomore year and absolutely loved it. Now you can say I'm officially trilingual, although not really, because all I remember how to sign now is, hi, my name is Gabby and I like food. And then right here is Brighton Hall. Brighton Hall is right across from Eureka, right next to Alpine Hall, and it's actually home to calculator checkout. So if you happen to be one of those students where the only math class you have to take within your whole college career is math appreciation, well then why buy a really expensive calculator when you can rent one? That's also home to math tutoring, so similar to our writing center. If you struggle with math, need a little extra support, well, then you can have free tutoring right in there. But if you're one of those students who loves math and you love helping other students, well, then guess what? You also can have a paid job opportunity. I'm now going to direct your guys' attention behind all the trees. There's a big, beautiful building back there. That's Capistrano Hall. That is home to our School of Music. That is right. It is not a department. It is a nationally accredited school of music. So you have to audition to get into the program in front of all our professors, one of which was actually nominated for a Grammy in jazz, but he did not win. It's okay. Hey, he's still one step ahead compared to me, right? And then once you get into the program, you get a key to the building. So you will have 24/7 access to all the recording studios and music rooms. That way you don't have to worry about waking your neighbor up at 3 a.m. because you've been practicing your tuba all night. Alrighty, now I'm gonna direct your guys' attention to the other side of me. Right here is home to our library quad. This is kind of like the main hub of campus. So a lot of stuff goes on here the first 2 weeks of school. We have our over 350 clubs and organizations out here trying to get you guys to join them. We have a bunch of fun clubs like the Quidditch Club for all my Harry Potter fans. We have the Puppy Lovers Club. That's the look if you want to work out those dance moves. The Pizza Making Club, and my personal favorite, the Hammock Club. So if you like sleeping and socializing, Hammock Club, totally for you. We even have local businesses who come out to sell things to our students like food, clothing, jewelry. Someone even took their wedding photos out there once. If you ever wanted to do so, go ahead. We are a public campus. And then as we walk up this ramp, you may notice there is something missing from this building. Starts with a W, something you can look out of. Did you figure it out? That's right, it is windows. So there are a few theories for that. The first is that the librarian helped design the building, didn't want students to be distracted by what was going on in the library quad. The next is it was accidentally built backwards because there are windows on the back, it's not the front. The last, my personal favorite, it was built to look like a modern JC Penney. I think it looks a little more like a Macy's. It just needs a really big red star. And now at this time, Jordan is going to show you a little glimpse at our Japanese tea garden. So we actually have people who come out to show our students how to do traditional Japanese tea ceremonies. I did it my freshman year. It was an amazing cultural experience. I highly recommend you check it out. Now you may notice some areas of social gathering are blocked off. This is just to promote social distancing and to make sure we have a safe and a healthy campus for our students, faculty, and staff. On the right-hand side right here, we will have our Multicultural Center. We are the fourth most diverse university on the West Coast. They actually host multicultural events throughout the entire year. Next, we have the Grumpy Meal Coffee. This is a European-based coffee based in the UK, and this is their only United States location. So if you like Grumpy Meal Coffee, look at Sac State. Just kidding, because you can always take a plane using our fabulous Study Abroad Program, also known as our International Programs and Global Engagement Office. One of the great things about Sac State specifically is we have transferable tuition. So the money you spend here, you will spend no matter what country you decide to go and study in. We also have our passport place. So let your aunts, uncles, your friends know you do not need to be a Sacramento State student to get your passport here. And our global lounge is where a lot of our international students like to hang out. So if you're still on the bench on studying abroad, head in there, see what their experience has been like, and then you can make your decision. And then right across from that, we have home to our 1.2 million books, and that does not include our online database. We have charging stations for your phones, checkout stations if you wanted to check out a laptop, maybe a box of bones to study for that anatomy exam. We have 4 different study floors here for our students. If you like to talk to your friends while you study, probably not getting a lot done, or you're having a great time, head to our 3rd floor. But if you're the kind of student who likes the absolute silence to study, then you can head to our 4th floor. It's home to our silent study, and they take it very seriously. They don't go chomping on those chips too loud, fall asleep and start snoring, because they will kick you out. Crazy, right? Alrighty, at this time, I'm gonna hand it over to Maggie to share a few fun Sac State facts.
Thank you so much, Gabby. Hello, everyone again. And I just real quick want to thank Gabby and Jordan for being out there. It's a little bit warm today, so thank you so much for doing this tour and walking around for all of us so we can see the campus in the world we're living in now. So thank you so much for doing that. I'm going to put up another poll for everyone. This one is about our mascot at Sac State. So I'm going to put it up right now. Who is Sac State's mascot? Do you know? Please let us know what you think. Is it Sammy the Stingray? Is it Hercules the Hornet? Is it Chester the Chestnut Tree? Or Herbie, also known as Herbert, the Golden Ox? Please, everyone, just go ahead and put your answers in the chat. Or excuse me, not in the chat, in the poll, pardon me. And as soon as everyone's pretty much answered, we're almost there with everyone. Looks like Herky is winning at this point. I'm probably going to end it in just a second here. Okay, I'm going to end the polling and I'm going to share it with everyone. Yes, you are correct. Those of you who did Sammy the Stingray, that was kind of my little gotcha situation because there's the stinger in there. Kind of was trying to throw you off with the stingers up stuff. It is Herky the Hornet because hornets also have stingers, of course. So thank you everyone for participating in that. I just wanted to give you a little more information about our mascot. Herky was made the mascot in December of 1947, and he was chosen over the elk. The elk was a possibility, but they decided with Herky the Hornet because the elk just was not considered aggressive enough. So that's kind of interesting, you know. And one other thing that's kind of fun, another fun fact, like Gabby mentioned, I was going to bring up, is our school's colors. So our school colors are green and gold. And the reason for that is because of, you may have noticed so far that we have a ton of trees on campus, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later, but there's a ton of beautiful trees. And that's where the green comes from. It's also, you know, Sacramento itself is a tree city, and we're just full of them, and it's what's so pretty about our city. And the gold comes from the golden foothills that are just kind of in the greater Sacramento area. So there's some fun facts for you about Sac State, our mascot, and our school colors. So I'm going to go ahead and switch it back over to Gabby and take it away.
Perfect. So the next building we're going to take a look at, is Amador Hall. This is home to psychology, sociology, ethnic studies, women's studies, and environmental sciences. One of the cool things about our psychology students, we actually do observational studies on our students, but don't worry, nothing too crazy. We just put students in certain situations and see how they react to those certain situations. Our psychology students will even do napping studies where they will track the brainwaves of other students while they sleep. Crazy, right? We also have the first ever women's studies degree program in the entire nation, and those students have the opportunity to study LGBTQ plus studies. So it's absolutely amazing to be able to identify all the women's studies majors at commencement because they're all wearing pink sashes. Next up, we're going to take a look at Tahoe Hall. This is home to history, economics, business, as well as political science. So business is our largest major. Here at Sac State, a little over 15% of Sacramento State students are business majors, and there is a reason for that. That is because we have 8 different concentrations. So if you go to any other university, you'll notice they only have 2 or 3. Well, we have 8, so you're not just stuck with business admin because you can specialize in the specific area you are most passionate about. Also, why is Sacramento State University a great place to study government? Well, we are the capital of California, meaning we have a ton of great internship and job opportunities. One of which is our Capital Fellowship Internship Program, which specifically reserves 36 seats for Sacramento State students. So these are the students going into the Capitol, listening in on hearings, seeing how policies are made and how those policies will affect all of us all over California. And as we walk down this path, you will slowly start to see our well. This does not stand for the wishing well. It stands for our wellness center. And we do have quite a few things I want to talk about in there. So if you were to go inside, on the right-hand side is home to our on-campus gym. On the left-hand side of the building are all of our health services. So if you were to walk in, the first thing you might notice is our subsidized pharmacy. What does that mean? That means we are funded by the government. So anything in there is approximately 50% cheaper than it naturally would be at any other store. We also have doctors in this facility that can do anything up to an x-ray. So if you're feeling a little sick, don't worry, they'll take good care of you right in there. And because mental health is just as important as physical health, we have counselors our students can talk to. And if you happen to have a question outside of business hours, we even have a 24/7 nurse hotline. And then on top of all those resources, we even have we even host cooking demos. So if you want to learn how to make quality food at quality prices, head in there. And the best part, you get to eat what you make at the end of the demo. Walking into the main gym portion of our well, first thing you might notice is our rock wall. So if you can climb to the top, put a little ping pong ball in our hornet's nest. They raffle those off at the end of each semester, and you have the opportunity to win a bunch of really cool prizes. We also have a multi-purpose courts. So those courts can be anything from basketball, volleyball, badminton, indoor soccer, indoor hockey. We even have specialty events throughout the entire year. Things like bubble soccer, where you play in this gigantic bubble. It's super fun. I highly recommend. We even have wheelchair basketball and wheelchair rugby. The brown panels behind those courts are actually made out of crushed sunflower seeds. Weird, right? Yeah, I totally did not believe them, so I Googled it. What do you know? It's true. And then on top of that, we even have an indoor track. It is 8 laps to run a mile. So please don't run 4. Tell all your friends you are the fastest mile runner in the world. It's not true. We have 4 more laps to go. That track is also made out of synthetic rubber. And then on top of that, we even host classes for our students that are of no extra cost to you. So these are things like Zumba Glow Party, cardio. We have a napping class if you wanted to take advantage of that. We also host classes that do cost a little extra money, but that is because they require a personal trainer. And by a little extra money, I mean $20 for a 4-week session, 2 times a week for self-defense. So even then, not that bad. At this moment, I'm going to go ahead and let Jordan give you guys a closer look at our well. If you guys were to walk into our well right now, the first thing you might notice is going to be the ground. It's made out of crushed glass bottles. Brown panels on top are made out of the redwood trees that used to stand in that very spot. This building is LEED certified, so we are one of the most sustainably green campuses out of all the CSUs. And just to show you guys one of the many ways we are trying to keep our campus safe during the current pandemic is our parking structure right here. We actually moved all our equipment and resources from the well to right out here. So our current students still have the ability to reserve a time and work out. Currently right now, we even have classes that they can currently attend. And then at this moment in time, I'm going to talk to you guys about our only off-campus building. So this is Folsom Hall. It's home to our physical therapy doctorate program. communication sciences and disorders. So if you want to be a speech pathologist or audiologist, it's also home to our nursing program. Nursing is very prestigious here at Sac State. You need a 3.97 to get into the program. That is not straight A's and maybe one B. That is straight A's and maybe only one A minus. So if you want to be part of that program, please let it encourage you to work harder rather than discourage you. It truly is an amazing program. We have a 98% pass rate on the nursing exam for the first try. They even have synthetic robots. They can do anything from cry, vomit, they turn blue. We even have a sim that gives birth to another baby sim. Crazy, right? And then if you guys were to take a look to your right-hand side, this small building right here is Benicia Hall, home to our Asian Studies, where a member of our faculty and staff is also a member of the Thailand royal family. So he is royalty. So that's pretty cool. That's also home to gerontology, which is not the study of old people, okay? It's the study of aging. So if you want to help out our older generations, you can head in there and learn a little bit about that. And then next to me, we also have one of our bike racks. So I like to talk about safety because, like I mentioned before, our on-campus safety officers, which is a really great internship opportunity for our criminal justice majors. And right behind me, our academic information resource center, but we are lazy college students, so we call it the ARC, is the only building that's open 24/7, even on the weekends. So once we hit those night hours, our CSOs will actually lock all the entrances and exits of the building to ensure only Sacramento State students are entering and exiting. Also, if you happen to feel a little worried to walk back to your car in the parking garage because it's 3 a.m. and you've been studying all night, well, don't worry, let our CSOs know, and they will actually escort you to your car. When I lived in the residence halls, it was a little bit late and I wanted to go to the well. So guess what? I called them up and they actually escorted me and drove me across campus. It's actually pretty fun. They have these little golf carts, so they'll drive you wherever it is you need to go. Our well is fully equipped with areas for single work, group work. We have our honors program in there, and they even have a tech area. So if you want to use a computer, printer, scanner, you can head in there and they'll help you out. I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Mackie.
Thank you, Gabby. Okay, everyone. Right now we have another poll. We're just trying to break things up. So I mentioned the trees earlier, how that was part of our school colors. So now I'm going to put up a tree poll. Okay, I'm going to put up a poll asking everyone about how many trees do you think we have on campus. All right, so I put that up for you right now. Do you think we have about 300? Maybe a little bit over 3,500? Exactly 1,947? Or 3 million trees? Do you think we have 3 million trees on campus? Maybe you do. All right, so far it looks like most people feel like we have a bit over 3,500. Yeah, okay. Getting everybody's replies, checking them out, looking pretty good. Okay, all right, cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the polling now and share the results with everyone. If you said that we had a bit over 3,500, you are correct. We do, in fact, have just, I think it's about 3,600 or so trees on our campus right now. And it's one of the best things about our campus, at least in my opinion. I think a lot of people share my sentiment. They are absolutely beautiful. And hey, think about this. You are on our campus in the spring and the fall, and that is absolutely the best time for trees. Right now, they're blooming, they're gorgeous. And in the fall, they're all different colors. All the leaves are all different colors. It's a really wonderful feature on our campus. We also, at the north end of campus, have a arboretum, which has not just trees, but many trees, but also a lot of other native plants to the area. And there's trails in there. You can kind of just go there. It's a very calm, peaceful, beautiful place. Classes can actually be held there. You can go study there. It's a really cool feature on our campus that I absolutely urge all of you to check out. We also I wanted to talk about the fact that all of our trees, so of these over 3,500 trees we have, every single one is tagged and numbered so that we can kind of, keep track of everything and their progress. And just so you know, when one of them, dies or has to be taken out. In fact, one recently there was a big storm and so they had to remove it because of, it just had to get removed. We always replace them with another tree. So that's also a very cool thing. But tree number 1 is still standing, and it is a tradition for new students to try to find tree number 1 on campus. So we definitely urge you to do that. We will not tell you here where it is. We like you to be able to find it yourself. Or maybe, you can ask around, but you're not going to get that info from us. So it's a really, really cool part of our campus. We're coming up pretty soon here on the Hornet Bookstore, and Gabby's going to be talking about that in just a moment. I think she's ready to go. Gabby, I'm going to toss it on over to you.
Okay, perfect. Sorry about that. I had to get a little breather in there. Okay, we're gonna start walking in front of our Hornet Bookstore. I can hear a little bit of wind, so sorry if that's getting a little bit in the way. But our Hornet Bookstore has a Subway on one side, a mini Wells Fargo's branch inside. So if you wanted to talk to a banker, maybe set up a checking or savings account, you can do that right in there. We also have a price match guarantee on textbooks. So if you happen to find something a little cheaper, Lunchbag or Amazon, you can always let us know and we will price match that item for you. You can even get anything from our overpriced pencils to very cool Sac State apparel. Just kidding. And on top of that, just a little tip to save some money on books. Rent them used, don't even rent them new. And then I am slowly walking past our Ernest C. Shannon Science Complex, our brand new STEM building. It has an on-roof garden, so it actually collects water from the American River to prevent flooding during those rainy seasons. We have a planetarium and an observatory in here. So planetarium shows for Sacramento State students are free. So if you happen, so once those start to open up again, I highly recommend signing up for one. They're even open to the public for only $7. So if you also happen to have family around the Sacramento area or family visiting from out of town, feel free to take them to see a planetarium show. Next up, we have our union. The best way I like to summarize this is food, events, resources. So food, this is one of our main eateries here on campus. We have a Panda Express, Starbucks, Gordito Burrito, goodies such as like your fresh soups and salads. We have a round table and Epicure, which is our on-campus student-run restaurant and catering services. So if they happen to cater an event on campus, have leftover foods, they'll actually send out a mass email letting students know they can stop by for a free meal. So that's pretty cool of them. Next up, events. So we have our ballrooms in here. So we actually host events like blood drives, career fairs, college fairs. We have concerts for our students like Stage the Gemini, 21 Pilots, I Am Sue, We the Kings, Jesse McCartney, Hypnotist, people who like to juggle chainsaws, and free movie showings. So anything in this building can be anywhere. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. I almost ran into the COVID safety sign, reminding our students to be safe. But on top of that, we have our concerts, hypnotists, and people who like to juggle chainsaws, which is pretty cool. We also have our Peak Adventures bike shop. So if you wanted to buy a bike, rent one, maybe rent out some equipment, go ahead. They also take our students on excursions here on campus. So if you want to go whitewater rafting, cave exploring, hiking, if you're 21, wine tasting, and they are specially priced for Sacramento State students. And then last but not least, resources. So we have our ASI food pantry. So I'm sure you guys have heard the saying, college students are broke and all they eat is top ramen. Well, guess what? Freshman 15. Oh no, freshman 20. So prepare yourselves. But don't worry, because at our ASI food pantry, you have the opportunity to go grocery shopping for free. So it is open to all students, so feel free to head in there. We also have our game room. So we have foosball, ping pong, pool, PS4s, Nintendo Switches, and all that other really cool stuff. We have our Pride Center, CARES office, and we even have prayer and meditation rooms in here. And if your religion requires you to wash your feet before you pray, we even have feet washing stations for our students to utilize. So we're gonna go ahead and wave goodbye to our union, and then we're gonna slowly make our way to our College of Engineering and Computer Science students. So engineers, mechanical, civil, electrical, computer, computer science, and construction management. First off, we have our Hornet Racing Club. So what it is, they build a race car from the ground up with a student as a driver and compete against 199 other schools nationwide. Each year we have gotten in the top 20th percentile, and that is a club, so you don't have to be an engineering major to want to participate. Continuing with my engineers, they are part of Tesla's Hyperloop X project. So what is Tesla working to achieve? They are trying to get someone from San Francisco to LA in the span of 30 minutes comfortably. So if you don't know, that's about 6 hours plus traffic. We're one of 24 schools chosen nationwide to try and accomplish this. So wish us luck. And then last but not least, we have our tiny house. It is a fully functioning house. If you picture a mini trailer, that's what it looks like. It has a bedroom, a bathroom, and a kitchen. And actually won Best Bathroom Design in a competition we entered it in. And on top of that, sorry if you wanted to get away from those boarding fees, someone already owns it. I'm gonna go ahead and have Jordan direct you guys to her right-hand side. This right here is a mini replica of the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. It is our Guy West Bridge, named after our first president here at Sac State, President Guy West. It is a pedestrian-only bridge, so you don't have to worry about cars trying to drive over or anything like that. And if you happen to live in an apartment complex on the other side of it, then it's a 10-15-minute walk right here to campus. There is also a legend that a miner during the gold rush actually hid $90,000 worth of gold dust and gold nuggets somewhere along the American River. So if you happen to walk to campus, maybe you'll be one of the lucky folks who finds the buried treasure. Pretty exciting, right? Continuing on with our computer science students. So we have the oldest and largest computer science program out of all the CSUs. So with internships, how much do you guys think the average internship in California pays you for your hard work and labor? They pay you $0. That is right. They pay you nothing, but not for computer science students. Their average internship pays approximately $23, $24 an hour. So we are actually third on HP. So Hewlett Packard's most likely to hire list. We're right behind MIT and Stanford. And then last but not least, our construction management students. So ever since 2011, 100% of our construction management students have been able to find a real job within their field of study by the time they graduate in the next 6 months. And then before our beautiful campus was even here, this was actually a station site known as the 5 Mile Station for the Pony Express. So the US's very first ever mailing system. Pretty cool, right? And then next up, we are slowly coming up on Humboldt and Sequoia Hall. Humboldt is right here. You may notice they are actually connected to each other. So if you are a STEM student taking a lab, it might be right here in Humboldt. And that lecture class that belongs to that lab will be in Sequoia Hall. Humboldt Hall is also home to a mini aquarium. By an aquarium, I don't mean a really big whale. I mean 1,700 different kinds of fish and microorganisms, which is just as cool, trust me. There's a taxidermy museum and even a serpentarium in there. Next up with Sequoia Hall, we even have an anechoic chamber. What is that? That is the world's quietest room. So faculty and staff actually say that once you go in there, you actually start to hallucinate. After approximately 15 minutes, you can hear your heart beating in your chest. You can hear the blood rushing through your veins. You can, so unfortunately, you can't just go in there. It is for academic purposes. So for example, STEM students will use it to do things like simulate space, see how fast ambient sound travels, and our music students will use it to test out their acoustics. And then right behind me, we are slowly coming up on Mendocino Hall. It's my special little home, anthropology, woo woo. We also have communities and religious studies, communication, film, journalism, and philosophy in there. It's also home to our largest lecture hall. Our largest lecture hall can hold up to 150 students. Now that might seem like a lot, but if you go to any other university, you'll notice they can hold up to 300 or 400 students. So like I mentioned before, we are a large university with a small campus feel. So our classrooms as well as our lecture halls are purposely made to be smaller to allow you to have that better connection in your classes. Next up, I'm going to talk about Placer Hall. The bottom half of this is home to our Department of Geology, and the top half, the part that's made completely out of glass, is home to the USGS, United States Geologic Survey, a federal agency. Here specifically, they study hydrology, which is the movement of water. So starting off with our Department of Geology, every single Sunday, they always remember to water their rock garden right here. Just kidding, they don't actually water their rock garden. But you know what we do like to say about our Department of Geology? They rock. Oh yeah, I went there. So the reason we say they rock is because they actually go on the most field trips. By a field trip, I don't just mean a walk across to the park. I also mean Hawaii for 9 days to study the volcanic rock. So a little mix of our education with some vacation. And then of course, the top half is home to the USGS. So imagine graduating after taking your classes on the bottom half of this building, and then potentially having an internship or job opportunity on the top half of the very same building. It's also my personal favorite because it's kind of like our lifesaver. So for example, if we're ever in an earthquake, you know exactly where to go because that is one of 2 buildings on campus that is actually earthquake proof. If you're ever lost, look it up on Google Maps. It's designed to look like a compass from an aerial view. So up, looking down. And at this moment in time, I want to direct your attention to our Sacramento State kiosk. So I'm gonna have Jordan come in close so you guys are able to read it. So if you notice, it shows computer lab availability, what building the availability in is, and how many seats are available. So that if you are ever studying, things are a little full, you wanna know exactly where there's an open computer lab, you'll know exactly where to go. They also have announcements. So if you want to know if any events are coming up on campus, someone's looking for a roommate, they'll post it right there on our Sacramento State kiosk. And right behind me, we have our Riverfront Center. And behind that, Del Norte Hall. So Del Norte is home to another lecture hall, more charging stations for your phones, studying areas, and the Hornet Buzz. So if you want to be a part of our on-campus newspaper, all you have to do is take one of our journalism classes. And then Riverfront Center is our second main eatery here on campus. So we have another Starbucks and another Panda Express because apparently coffee and Chinese food is very important to college students. We have gyros to go. It's kind of like Greek food. It's my personal favorite. We have a bagel shop, Baja Fresh, and a Togo's. So we do have one main eatery on the north end and one on the south end of campus to help gaining access to food as easy as possible for our students. Now I'm gonna go ahead and have Jordan direct her attention to her left. Sorry if the trees are a little bit in the way, but you might notice that building, it is Lassen Hall, the building with the Aztec murals on the front. So what does that mean? That means you guys have virtually walked, I haven't physically walked, a gigantic oval around the entire campus. So this tour is slowly coming to an end. Sorry about that. This tour is slowly coming to an end. We will be ending in the next 5 minutes. So if you haven't thrown your question in that Q&A box, it can be about anything, campus life, social life, ask about our experiences. I'll be happy to share that information with you. And at the very end of our Riverfront Center, we actually have our Serna Center. You can see the entrance right there, home to our College Assistant Migrant Program, also known as CAMP. If you are a first-generation college student, I highly, highly, highly recommend getting in touch with them. They are absolutely amazing. They help you find job, internship, scholarship opportunities. They have peer mentors that can help you stay on track with your classes, making sure you don't miss any deadlines. And if you're a DACA student, that's also home to our Dreamers Resource Center. Now at this time, you'll notice a big red building starting to come up right behind me. This is Shasta Hall, home to our math department. So remember we had calculator checkout, math tutoring, and Brighton Hall. Well, this is the actual home of the math department. They actually award $50,000 worth of scholarship money to their students each year. So go ahead and think of all the math majors. That's your competition for these scholarships. This is also home to our Department of Theater and Dance. So say you don't want to major or minor in theater, but you want to be part of a production. Well, go ahead. One of our main leads last year was actually a STEM major. So kudos to her. But if you are majoring in theater and dance, then it is a requirement that you are part of a production. Just trying to help our students gain as much experience as possible. So by the time they graduate, it is easier for them to find a job and build their career afterwards. Now, as I walk, you will slowly start to see little white buildings in the background. So that is actually home to our residence halls. So it is not required as a first-time freshman to live in our residence halls, but it's also not guaranteed. So if you are interested in that, the housing application is out now. So I highly recommend you complete it as soon as possible. We do work on a first come, first served basis. So our residence halls are located right here on campus. I actually had a class in Shasta Hall my freshman year at 8 a.m. I lived in the residence halls. I literally woke up at 7:50, dressed and ready to go. All I had to do was brush my teeth, and I was right there on time every single time. So they are located right here on campus, just in case you were worried about that. And because we love our city just as much as our university, we decided to build our fabulous Sacramento mural. So we asked artists from all around the city to design a letter of what SAC means to them. My personal favorite is the E, the only letter designed by two people, one who is right and one who is left-handed. So I'll let you figure out your favorite, but for right now, this is the end of our virtual campus tour. If you enjoyed it, thank you. My name is Gabby. If you didn't, I'm so sorry. My name is still Gabby. And back to Maggie.
Okay, thank you so much, Gabby, and thank you everyone once again for joining us. I'm going to do one more poll here at the end because I'd really like to know who is with us has said or will say yes to Sac State. So I'm going to launch that right now. Just let us know, have you already said yes to Sac State, meaning have you already submitted your intent to enroll, or do you plan to do your intent to enroll after this whole weekend? Please go ahead and put that in the poll right now. Just go ahead and respond. It's great to see that most of you who are responding have already pledged to come to Sac State. We're really, really excited to have you. For those of you who are still feeling a little bit unsure, couple things for you. So one thing to note is that we do not require a deposit for you to do your intent to enroll, and your intent to enroll is not, the last day to do so is May 1st. So you have a little bit of time, if you wanted to come to campus. A few people asked about that. You are welcome to come to the campus. We do not currently have guided tours at this time, but we are hoping to have a self-guided option, something that you can follow along with very, very soon. But for now, you can just come to the campus and take a walk around. It is really beautiful, and I completely understand the desire to do so. So I'm going to go ahead and end the polling and share with everybody the results. Look at that. Most of you are coming. We're so excited to have you. But again, if you're still feeling unsure, there's no deposit required to do your intent to enroll. And I'm going to go ahead and put this into the chat right now. There's a bunch of ways to connect with us in admissions so that we can kind of help you get to that decision. So I'm putting that in the chat. You see the Connect with Admissions, that's a page that you can go to that has just everything, every single way you can connect with us. So we have virtual reception 4 days a week in the morning. We have, obviously you can just email us, you can call us. We have these virtual tours. We have events like these. There's all kinds of ways to get in touch with us. And we'd love to talk to you. If you have any hesitation, we'd love to answer your questions and help you feel better about coming to Sac State. I also put up all of our Instagram handles at Sac State Tours, at Sac State Admissions. Follow those because there's always up-to-date information coming out on those. And also, you'll notice there's the orientation Instagram accounts at Sac State 2025 official for first year students, and Sac State Transfers Fall 2021 for transfer students. And what's really great about that and why we encourage you to follow that is because it gives you all the up-to-date information for well, everything, but everything leading up to orientation. So we really encourage you to follow those. I'm going to actually open up a couple questions. Excuse me. We answered a bunch of questions during both Paige and I. Paige is also one of our tour guides, kind of working behind the scenes, helping me out. She answered a lot of your questions. Thank you so much for that, Paige. But I'm going to pitch a couple questions over to Gabby, if she doesn't mind. The first one I have is, how can a first-time freshman find a roommate for off-campus housing? Do you have any suggestions for that?
Yeah, so well, Sac State actually does have kind of like a little website app thing. Think of it kind of like online dating, except for roommates. So you go on there and it gives you the opportunity. Some students give out like their Instagrams or their Snapchats, so you have the opportunity to message each other. And if you want to find a roommate outside of that system, there's a Facebook group. Students are constantly posting like if they have rooms at their apartment complexes around the Sacramento area available. So those are great ways. One thing I will say though, when looking for a roommate, is literally be honest with each other, okay? Because trust me, I've been there. I myself am kind of a messy person, so be honest with your roommate. Are you a messy? Are you a clean person? What are some things that you expect when you're living with someone? Are you going to allow them to have friends over only before a certain hour, after a certain hour? What is it that you want? That way, you guys have all your expectations out on the table. That way, if something does happen where you guys have a problem, you already know how to handle that situation because you talked about it when you first got to that housing area. So be honest with each other. You guys are adults, and this is your time to figure out what housing situation best fits you.
That was a great response. Thank you so much, Gabby. And I want to encourage everyone, if you have any last minute questions, we are at the end of our tour, but if you have any questions, we have some time for you. Please go ahead and put them into the Q&A or the chat if you prefer, but the Q&A is there for you for all of your questions. And I think I'm just going to pitch this to you, Gabby. I'm curious if you have any like tips or tricks or from the trade or like, things that you wish you had been told before coming to Sac State. Anything like that you'd be willing to share with us?
Yeah, for sure. One of the major things is get involved. Like, I don't care if it's a club, if it's a study group, sorority, fraternity, sports, whatever it is, get involved. Do not make your college experience a really expensive high school experience. This is your time to figure out what it is you want, what kind of person you want to be, what it is you want to study. And on top of that, don't feel rushed. I know when I was in high school, I always thought, I have to finish in 4 years. I have to finish in 4 years. Like, if you can, that's absolutely amazing. But if you can't, like, feel free to add an extra semester. I'm graduating in 5 years because trust me, your mental health is just as important as your physical health. Okay. For me, being able to balance two jobs, school, and being able to maintain that social life to keep me from going crazy was extremely important to me. So don't ever feel rushed to have like a specific timeline to meet your academic goals.
Yes, I love that. Those are really good. Yeah, that's really good advice. Okay. A couple more questions, and I don't know if you wanted to go ahead and answer this, Gabby, but does Sac State allow double majors? And actually, do you know anyone who has done that, and maybe give an account of that if you wouldn't mind?
Yes, actually, my roommate, she is a double major. She double majored in nutrition and dietetics as well as psychology. If you are double majoring, the biggest thing I would say is find a system that works for you, that forces you to stay accountable, okay? Because, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, double majoring is very difficult. She was taking 18 units a semester. One semester, she even took like 20 units, which you have to petition for to take that many units. So she is absolutely amazing. We would literally be studying in the living room and she'd be there studying and I'd be the emotional support, like cheering her on, So we do have the opportunity to double major. Just really make sure that you find a system that works for you, whether it's a planner or setting alarms on your phone to literally keep you accountable for those study times and making sure you get everything turned in on time. because although it is very much doable, you're for sure going to have to stay disciplined to stay accountable on your studies.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Gabby. Okay, so somebody else did ask when the official starting day for classes is. It is fall instruction will begin on August 30th. That is up on the website. I just double checked that for you. It's on August 30th. And now I have another question for Gabby. Can you talk about the average class size, and also not just that answer, but sort of like what your personal experience was with class sizes and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah. Honestly, I've only ever had to take one lecture hall class, and it was one of those like GE classes. It was like a geology class. Other than that, all my classes have been regular classroom size. Our average classroom is approximately 27 students large. I'm an anthropology major, which isn't too big, so we actually stayed pretty close to those 27 students. Of course, if you're in a smaller major like nutrition dietetics, my roommate let me know she only had like 10 students in her class once. So it can fluctuate a little bit, but the average is 27 students. My experience as far as learning goes, and this actually might correlate a little bit to our current pandemic, is I actually had a hybrid class, which was half in person, half online. I did have online classes as well. The biggest thing I would say is talk to your professors. A lot of them understand that right now it's kind of hectic. They're figuring it out, you're figuring it out. As long as you talk with them and let them know what your situation is, a lot of them are actually really understanding. I've had professors extend deadlines for papers or exams for me because they understand, like, I'm working a lot, I have these things going on. So they're actually really accommodating.
That's great. That's great. Okay. I have another person who is wondering if we can compare the different on-campus housing for transfers, and maybe you can speak a little bit about that, because I believe you said that, I know that you lived on campus at one point. So maybe talk a little bit about that. I'm also going to put the housing links into the chat, as well as the housing tour link, because obviously they would be able to give you up-to-date information as well if you ended up visiting them. But would you mind talking a little bit about that, Gabby, like living on campus and all that kind of stuff, and where you lived and all that?
Yeah, of course. So my biggest advice would for sure be sign up for that housing tour. They offer them Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 p.m. That will be the best way to be able to view them. But for our first-time freshmen, their housing options are our traditional residence halls. I lived in Desmond Hall, so they are located on the north end of campus right here. For our upper division transfers, their residence halls are actually suite style, which is actually pretty nice to say. So it's like one common living area and a kitchen area, and then you guys have rooms surrounding that common living area with your own bathrooms connected to each one. For those housing options, they say like 5x3s or 3x3s. For first time freshmen, it's option between like singles, doubles, triples. Of course, keep in mind, ask housing how those options are going to be changing because of the current pandemic. At the time, they have been currently housing one student per room every other room. So feel free to ask them about how any of those rooms might be changing, how that might be working out. What I love so much about the housing is you're actually required to have a meal plan. So it's kind of like a point system. So no matter what, I always had our dining commons, which is our on-campus buffet. You go in, pay once, you can stay there as long as you want, eat as much as you want. On days where I didn't have to go anything, I'd spend all day there just eating for free and finishing my homework. Little tip right there. And then we even have like a riverfront center where you can get things like pizzas, just simple things like, one Gatorade or, like a sandwich, something small like that. So that's what I think was the most convenient about being on campus, is knowing that I had a little extra help. Right now at my apartment, if I don't go grocery shopping, I'm not eating that day. Like if I don't do my laundry, I don't have any clothes. Whereas at the dining commons, it was kind of like a baby step into independence.
That's great. Gabby, I need to be able to see you to ask this. Have you been to the football games?
So I have been to the football games. They are fun.
Okay.
I've only
Somebody's
been to,
asking what they're like. So if you want to talk about that.
yeah, only been to one football game. It was quite a few years ago. But yeah, it's absolutely great. One of the biggest things that you love so much is the energy, especially with the marching band. The marching band, they're absolutely great. One of our coworkers is in it. Her name is Katie. They're like playing music and, you know, with the cheering and everything, it just adds to the environment. So I would highly recommend checking out at least one football game while you're in college.
Great. Okay. And then this is the last question I'm going to take. Are the students nice? Are the students nice, Gabby?
Nice. If you don't, I promise I am. But yeah, no, we have actually, like, more seriously, we do have a really great student body. I think one of the biggest things that shows is, like, I remember once I was walking and, you know, I had fallen or tripped or something like that. And, you know, literally everyone's like, oh my gosh, are you okay? Like, they were acting like I was dying. I was like, I'm fine, it's okay, you know? So yeah, so our students are really great. They're super nice. I've never encountered like a crazy problem or anything like that. So yeah, we do have a really great environment.
I would have to agree with you, Gabby, for sure. Okay. And actually I think that all the staff and faculty are just really incredible. I've always been really impressed by them too. I mean, I'm a staff member. I don't mean like, oh, I'm so awesome. I mean that all of the other staff and faculty that I've encountered have been just so wonderful. And I think most of the student ambassadors that I work with would agree. So that's a really great thing. Okay, I think we're going to end this here. Thank you so much for joining us. This was the very last event of Admitted Student Weekend. I hope that it helped some of you say yes to Sac State. We're really excited to have you join us for the fall 2021 semester. I'm going to put it in the chat just one more time, the Connect with Admissions, so that you can get a hold of us, that Connect with Admissions link. You know, if you have any more questions, you're on the fence about anything, please contact us. We'll talk to a person like me, admissions counselor. Some of the students you've talked to, you can talk to them too. You can join any of our other campus tours to ask more questions. That's perfectly fine. We would love to help you. Anything you have any questions, we are here for you. So once again, thank you, everyone. Thank you so much to Gabby and to our camera person, Jordan, for helping out today. We really, really appreciate both of you and all of the students here. Thank you so much, and stingers up. Bye-bye. Take care.